What's going on, guys? It's Alex here, Retro Rising, bringing you guys Season 12 of the ASL. The Kame's Disciples are coming back. We've got a killer team this season. Yeah, it's been, I want to say, at least 2 years since I've been in Draft League, but the ASL is one I've been at. I think I first joined the ASL, it was either like Season 2 or 3. Like, I was super early on, and I've been on it in most seasons, so I'm very excited that I got the invite to come back. Yeah, with all that said, I think we have a killer team this season. Let's get into it. Kicking things off, I did draft Ogerpon Hearthflame. I'm super excited to use Ogerpon Hearthflame. Important things to note about Ogerpon Hearthflame. First off, because they do have that mask, they cannot hold an item, but they do get, I forget the exact boost. I think it's like a 20% boost to their attacks. Pretty sure. I might be wrong about that. But the other thing about that mask too is you cannot knock off their item, and I cannot run another item. That also means that they're pretty good at being immune to things like trick or switcheroo shenanigans, which I'm a big fan of that. They also have the ability Mold Breaker, which is super nice, being able to ignore my opponent's abilities. Being able to ignore anything like Sap Sipper or Ivy Cudgel's case, Flashfire. Yeah, Flashfire or Well-Baked Body. Super good. Being able to ignore things like... I'm trying to think. Basically, being able to ignore things like that. Then, yeah, these stats are nothing to scoff at either. They got 80 HP, 120 attack, 84 defense, 60 special attack, 96 special defense, and 110 speed. That 110 speed is amazing, especially when you compare it with some of those key moves I noted, like U-turn, as well as things like knockoff, being able to go first and knock enough items. Great. Those spikes are going to be super important. Even synthesis for recovery, absolutely love that. Now, some other key moves I did not write down. Trailblaze, absolutely love it. Boost that 110 speed even more. Swords Dance, boost that 120 attack even more. They also get Horn Leech for recovery as well. Like, there's so much Ogerpon can do. I'm very, very excited we had it on our team. I think we were something like, out of 24 people in this draft, we were 12th. So, I was surprised I got something good round one. Granted, there were a lot of good Pokemon, but still, I was very surprised. Moving on to our next pick. I'm very excited for this. We got Quagsire. Now, Quagsire is a super amazing mon. It's very, very defensive. A part of that is because of that 130 HP. They've also got 75 attack, 60 defense, 45 special attack, 110 special defense, and 20 speed. That 20 speed is amazing. So, I was kind of worried about Trick Room going into my team because I knew a few mons that I wanted. I knew they were all very, very fast. So getting a nice slow mon that will most likely underspeed most mons in Trick Room was very, very nice to me. But also, this can be a very good defensive pivot for my team. Especially with abilities like Unaware and Water Absorb. Water Absorb helping out with Ogerpon against those water types. And Unaware just being amazing to stop a setup sweeper. Or at least wall them. And then they've also got key moves like Stealth Rocks, Spikes, Toxic Spikes, Haze. Again, Haze to stop a sweeper. As well as you also get moves like Toxic and all that. Like, it's literally... I love Quagsire. I'm so excited to use them. It gets reliable recovery with Recover. Like, I'm excited. This is a good mon. I think this is going to be like the glue for the team. And I'm glad we got the glue from the beginning. I'm not going to lie. Like, I think Quagsire is a good glue piece. Moving on to our next mon. This is our first Terra Captain. We did draft 2 of them this season. We have Hisuian Electrode. Hisuian Electrode has 3 amazing abilities. All 3, I think, are going to get used this season. Soundproof, Static, and Aftermath. Some key moves to note with Hisuian Electrode are Volt Switch, Leech Seed, Thunderwave, Foul Play, and because I said that he's one of our Terra Captains, Terra Blast as well. So they've got 60 HP, 50 attack, 70 defense, 80 special attack, 80 special defense, but that massive 150 speed. So, like I said, Hisuian Electrode is our Terra Captain. What does that mean? So they get 3 Terra types. One has to be a stab, so I went with Terra Electric as one of them. And the other 2 had to be non-stab. So I, of course, got Ice, because Electric and Ice is amazing, amazing coverage. Volt Beam has been very popular for years for a reason. And I also, as recommended by a couple other people, I ended up going with Terra Water as their other type. It can be a nice defensive type to switch in on some things. But also, Terra Water is just nice. I actually, eventually when I get to my water type later, like, it's good that I have another water option offensively. Like, I'll just say it that way. And then, so, moving on, I just want to say, with this guy, 80 special attack is not a lot. I know that. You know that. 80 special attack is not a lot. So being able to get other supporting moves like Thunder Wave, Leech Seed, Foul Play, all that good stuff, great. And that 150 base speed with Volt Switch, being able to pair that off with Ogerpon's U-Turn, getting a very, very fast U-Turn core, love it, love it, love it. Alright. I think that's all I have left to say for Hisuian Electrode. So moving on into our next mon, we have another mon I am super, super, super excited to use. Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl got that Prankster ability. I love Prankster. It is one of my favorite abilities in all of Pokemon. And they've also got Frisk and Pickpocket, and yeah, those exist. I'm not saying I'm not going to use those, because there's always a chance, there's always a situation, like, maybe, but most of the time you're going to see Prankster. Some key moves to note with this guy, being Parting Shot, Fake Out, Trick, and Sucker Punch. Priority Parting Shot is like probably one of the best things to come out of this generation for Grimmsnarl, and I'm so excited. First off, we have so much pivot potential between Parting Shot and U-Turn and Volt Switch. I'm excited. That 75 HP, oh my god, I'm sorry, 95 HP, 120 attack, 65 defense, 95 special attack, 75 special offense, and 60 speed. They're not nothing. Those are some pretty good stats. That 120 attack can also get boosted by things like Bulk Up, so I'm very excited to use Grimmsnarl. Yeah. Moving on, I think we can talk about our next pick, who is Berserker. I'm excited to use Berserker. If you guys don't know anything about the ASL, it is a league where it's a point buy system for the draft league. You also have tiers and all that stuff. So Berserker was one of the lower tier mons, but I do think Berserker has a great role in this league, or especially this team. With abilities like Battle Armor, Tough Claws, and Steely Spirit, I think he can do a lot. Battle Armor, if I ever think I'm going against a Scope Lens set on a team and need a counter, that can be fun. Tough Claws and Steely Spirit, pretty great. Tough Claws being just a boost to any contact move, and Steely Spirit giving I think it's a 50% boost to any steel type move. Amazing. I'm excited to use it. Other key moves to note are Fake Out, U-Turn, and Stealth Rocks. Those are great. He also has Baton Pass. Baton Pass is great, but I'm going to have to be careful with it because we have, like, I think it's like 3 different rules with Baton Pass in this league that we got to be careful with. Like, you can't Baton Pass more than one stat at a time. You cannot pass a stat and a substitute. You can only pass just a substitute. Or just a stat boost. And then, also, you can't pass a stat boost of anything more than +2. So if I Sword Stance and Baton Pass, that's cool. But, like, I can't Trailblaze and Sword Stance and Baton Pass. If that makes sense. Anyways. Moving on, Berserker, 70 HP, 110 attack, 100 defense, 50 special attack, 60 special defense, 50 speed. He's offensive, he's a little defensive, he's a little bit of everything, and I think he can be another good glue piece. Also, I think, keep talking about pivot potential, Berserker is pretty great as a slow U-turn user. So, I think we can get a lot of value out of that. Moving on to our next pick. We got Magmar. Magmar, again, one of our low tier mons. We had to pick at least one E tier, which is the lowest tier. And I ended up going with Magmar for one of ours. Magmar, I'm so excited to use them. First off, Ogerpon Hearthflame is a fire type. I will say that. But they're a more offensive fire type. And looking at how this team was going, I was thinking I wanted a defensive fire type as well. So something that can have that flame body ability as well as an Eviolite. Super great. He also gets Vital Spirit, which can be pretty good because someone, I'm not going to name names, drafted in a Moongus. So, having Vital Spirit, pretty good against that. But I also have Ogerpon for a Moongus, so it's like whatever. Anyways, some key moves to note with this guy are stuff like Knockoff and Will-O-Wisp. They do get Belly Drum still. They do get Mach Punch for priority. They also get stuff like Taunt and all that. So Magmar, I think, could be very interesting. Magmar is also one of our Terra captains. So, of course, Terra Fire. I also got Terra Grass, and I think I picked Terra Water as the other. No! Terra Fighting. Sorry, I remember now. I almost picked Terra Water. That's why I was like, wait, what? No, I went Terra Fighting because I wanted Stab Mach Punch for if I did that Belly Drum set. Anyways, also Rock Resist. Anyways, 65 HP, 95 attack, 57 defense, 100 special attack, 85 special defense, 93 speed. I didn't realize before doing this, his stats aren't bad at all. That 100 special attack is pretty great. I didn't even realize it was that high. That 93 speed, though, is what I think is going to be super, super nice. Because I'm going to be real. I looked at most people's teams after the draft. I think Magmar is going to actually put in work this league. I think this season Magmar is going to do some stuff. And I'm pretty excited to see. Also, important thing to note, he doesn't have to run the Eviolite. Like, if I want to run a different item, I could. And you know what? Looking at this team, and I could see it being a possibility. So I'm excited to see what else comes of it. Next mon we got, though, is Cloyster. Now, like I said earlier with Hisuian Electrode, my water type, I didn't know, honestly, with Cloyster, how I wanted to run it. There's, of course, obviously the Shell Smash set, but they also get spikes and Toxic Spikes. They also get Ice Shard for priority. I'm sorry. Alright. There's also Shell Armor, which is pretty good to block some crits. They get Overcoat, which is pretty good for avoiding things like, if I'm trying to avoid sand chip damage, or Spore, or any of that stuff. I actually have a lot of defense against Spore on this team, and I did not even realize that. But the ability that we are really focusing on is Skill Link. Cloyster gets that Shell Smash up, then goes for things like Icicle Spear or Rock Blast, and it's just over. It's definitely a good wall breaker. It could be a late game sweeper. Honestly, depends on who I'm fighting. But I think Cloyster is going to put in a lot of work. They get 50 HP, 95 attack, 180 defense, 85 special attack, 45 special defense, and 70 speed. That 70 speed at +2 from a Shell Smash is just great. It outspeeds most things that are Scarfed. I did do some calcs, and I've been like looking at some. There are some niche situations where at +2 speed I'm still outsped. But that's very, very rare, and that's like if someone has like a base, I think it's like 115 Pokemon that they decide to run Choice Scarf. So, I mean, yeah, if you want to limit your entire team like that just to outspeed Cloyster, go for it. I think, like, I'm really excited to use Cloyster. I don't think I've used a Shell Smash sweeper before. I almost drafted Blastoise, and I think Blastoise went, like, literally later the same round, because I think me and someone else were, like, looking at these guys at the same time. But, yeah, I would have been happy either way. But I'm really excited to use Cloyster. A Shell Smash Sweeper, I'm excited for. Especially because of our next mon, who is Cyclizar. So, Shed Tail is legal in this league. I drafted a Cyclizar. So, we got Shed Tail and Regen. First off, this was like round 8 and I got a Cyclizar. Anyways, there's Shed Tail and Regenerator. Regenerator is amazing when you pair that with things like Shed Tail and U-Turn. Shed Tail, of course, you cut your HP in half to set up a substitute for a Pokemon that is coming in. Then there's also U-Turn, which lets him switch out and get more recovery from that Regenerator. Then there's Rapid Spin and Knockoff as well for just a little bit of cleanup. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm very excited for this. Because, first off, like I said with that Baton Pass rule, where you can't Baton Pass a substitute into a Terra Captain or an S-tier mon, that doesn't count for Shed Tail. So, if I want to Shed Tail, substitute in front of Magmar, set up a Belly Drum, and then Mach Punch Sweep, that's on the table. If I want to Shed Tail in front of Cloyster, Shell Smash, that's there too. Shell Smash, and again, Shed Tail in front of Ogerpon for a Swords Dance, I can do that too. I got options. Yeah, no, I'm very excited to use Cyclizar. 70 HP, 95 attack, 65 defense, 85 special attack, 65 special defense, but that monster is 121 speed. Yeah, no, he fast. Again, pair that U-Turn core or that Shed Tail core with things like Hisuian Electrode for more speed or Ogerpon or whatever, and we have so much pivot potential. Everyone is so fast. Everyone bounces around like madmen. I absolutely love it. I think Cyclizar is going to get a lot of use. They were a late S tier pick for us. We got them, like I said, round 8. And they cost like 20 points or whatever. So the last couple mons we have are going to be a little bit lower, lower tier, but I think it was worth it. Moving on into our next mon, we have someone who I'm very excited to use. I don't think I've ever used this person in Draft League either. And that's Dodrio. I like Dodrio. Dodrio is a good Pokemon. So, thing about Dodrio in this league is they only have one legal ability, and that is Early Bird. Technically, I could run Runaway also, but Runaway has no competitive use. But I think it's like Tangled Feet is his other ability. And the thing about Tangled Feet is any ability that would boost your evasion is banned. So, really, with Dodrio, we're just going to be looking at Early Bird. Early Bird letting us wake up faster. That's pretty cool. I guess. If I want to run, like, a rest set, maybe. And, I don't know. My opponent runs Yawn? I don't know. But anyways, some key moves to note. Again, another Baton Pass user. Knockoff. Trailblaze. Taunt. Also gets Swords Dance, so, again, Baton Pass potential. And then, 60 HP, 110 attack, 70 defense, 60 special attack, 60 special defense, 110 speed. Again, another fast mon. Another fast mon with another pivot potential with Baton Pass. I'm happy. Like, I think this is cool. I wish Dodrio got U-Turn. Like, that would have been really cool. I almost got Braviary instead at this point in the draft because of that. But that 110 speed, I honestly thought that the team really needed. Because I was, like, looking at my speed tiers, looking at all that, looking at some of the other teams that were drafted, and I was like, I kind of want it. Dodrio is also super important, because if you look at the team, if you objectively look at the team, I have a pretty bad ground weakness so far. So, I think Dodrio is going to be a lot of help for that. Our last mon as well is also going to be a little bit of help for that. And, yeah, I'm pretty excited. Like I said, I'm pretty excited to use Dodrio. I've always loved him. And I think in my Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee playthrough, you guys might have seen that. So I'm excited. Final mon that we have for the team is Misdreavus, our Ghost type. I needed a Ghost type. You cannot go through a draft without getting things like Ghost, or Normal, or Flying, or Ground. You need those types that are immunities. Fairy and Dark as well. You need those types that have an immunity to something, because they're just so important. And being able to stop normal and fighting attacks. Very, very important. Fighting, especially with this team, I'm very glad to be able to have an immunity for. As well as having Levitate to be able to stop ground types. Very excited. This is a Mon that can run an Eviolite. I'm very excited for that as well. I said can because, honestly, Mischievous doesn't need it. With that 60 HP, 60 attack, and 60 defense, you don't think much of it until you get to that 85 special attack, 85 special defense, and 85 speed. That 85 speed is what's important, because I can run like this thing Choice Scarfed. They also get Trick. Choice Scarf Trick. I like it. There's also Perish Song and Curse and Destiny Bond, and I think I love all of that. Perish Song could be really, really cool to stop like a setup sweeper or something. Or Perish Song also bypasses Substitute, so if there's something that's like really walling me with Substitute and I have a Perish Song, I'm excited for it. Curse can be super cool as well. I don't know what I would do with it competitively, but Curse can be cool. Curse with a Ghost type cuts your HP by half, and I think you do a quarter to your opponent every turn. I'm excited. I'd try it out. I definitely would use it. And of course there's Destiny Bond, and I love Destiny Bond. I could definitely see a set being like Choice Scarf, Trick, and Destiny Bond, and then something like Shadow Ball and maybe Coverage or Will-O-Wisp or whatever. This guy also gets Will-O-Wisp too. And I don't know, I'm excited. Dude, Mischievous also, I noticed this when I was team building, or not team building, but after the draft, they get Sucker Punch as well. Like, where are your hands? Yeah, so I'm super excited. I think Mischievous actually has a role on this team, and I can't wait. I almost went with Dusclops. I was so close to picking Dusclops, but that Levitate ability is really what stood out. And, you know, I'm actually really glad we went with Mischievous because of that faster speed. The option for this, like, Choice Scarf Trick set. Like, I like it. I'm a big fan. I like it. Moving on, I do actually have one more slide, even though this is all our Mons. This is the full team. And also, as you see, my left here. Sorry, my camera's flipped. Those are the averages for all of our stats going through the team. So on average, we have 74 HP, 93 attack, 81.1 defense, 74.5 special attack, 75.1 special defense, and 86.9 speed. Now, that's pretty mid. If that was a Pokemon, like if those stats were a Pokemon, I'd call it mid. And the reason why that's like that is this team is very min-maxed. I don't know if you guys noticed it while I was talking, but this team is very, very min-maxed. So, I think it's going to be fun. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this team. Again, there's a lot of priority potential. There's a lot of, what's the other word else? Like pivot potential. There's, like, so much this team can do. Like, I'm excited. Like, this is, like, I haven't drafted a team that I've been excited for in years. Not just because it's been over 2 years. Like, when I stopped doing Draft League, it's because I kept basically drafting, like, the same team over and over. And this team is so different from what I did before. Like, I'm excited. This team is definitely inspired by me doing those runs like Radical Red on stream. Or me fighting you guys on Fridays. Or doing all that. So I think this team is going to rock it. I think we're going to make it to playoffs for sure. I think we're going to win this year. I think this is finally the season where I win the ASL. Anyways, you guys. Thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure. Stick around for next week where we should have our week 1 match against... Let me actually pull that up over here. Oh, that's the wrong screen. Boop, 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 boop. Never mind, that was the right screen. Against... Alright, that's the guy's username. I want to know your team name. Renn, what is your team name? Sorry, I just had to, like, move my mic out of the way so I could see my screen. Kansas City Spirits. Alright, week 1 against the Kansas City Spirits. And, yeah, I think we're going to take the win. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.